So now that I've been posting on this YouTube channel pretty regularly and taking a deep dive into how everything about YouTube works, I've learned that there's been some things that I have not believed the right way about YouTube. Actually, there are some pretty dumb things. I'm enjoying being in a position now where I can course correct on these dumb things that I've believed about YouTube and hopefully see some more success as I move away from what was wrong into more of what I think is working, and I'm proving that to be true as I go. So I want to share with you 9 dumb things that I've believed about YouTube and how I've been correcting them and what I'm seeing from them, and hopefully they can benefit you too. Hey, I'm Diane. I'm in my mid-50s, and I've started this YouTube channel to help my fellow folks who are over the age of 40 to have more opportunities for impact and hopefully earn some more money as we simply share the things that we know. And one of the greatest ways to do that is with a YouTube channel. Okay, let's dive in. My first dumb thing that I've believed about YouTube and I've changed my mind on. That is, what I see on YouTube is what everybody else sees on YouTube. And I'm sure you're already thinking, Diane, that's just craziness, and you're right. And so where I've gotten that feeling from is it can feel like what we consume on social media is not individualized because we aren't looking at anybody else's. We're only looking at ours. And yes, it can have that echo chamber potential, but we also have to realize that social media, especially YouTube, is built on, okay, they looked at this, they seem to like this, let's show them more of this. And that's 100% what happens in our own feeds. So I can think, what I've seen, oh, everybody's already seen that. Everybody's already done that. Everybody's already talked about that. And it's just not true, because what I'm consuming in that realm is wildly different than what you're consuming in that realm or anybody else, because what we see on social media is so targeted to us. So we have to get the idea out of our head of, oh, well, that's already been done. And, you know, oh, somebody's already done that 30 times. Well, they might have done it 30 times, but probably a lot of people haven't seen it 30 times. So there's always that niche, there's always that opening that we can go into and create things that someone who's going to relate with us better is going to see and enjoy more because we're maybe a little bit more like them or something like that. So we just have to remember that what we see and what we consume on social media is not the general audience, and it's not even what our niche audience is seeing. It's very personalized, and so there's always room for us to go into those openings. It's important to remember as creators that we all have an individual appeal. I hope that I'm appealing to people who are in my general age demographic because I think they can trust me a little bit more of what I'm saying about things that I've lived through and learned and have even some career experience in a lot of cases, maybe more than what seeing a 22-year-old talking about the exact same thing could bring. So anything that you're creating has the appeal for you to be trusted, liked, listened to more by somebody else who might be a little bit more like you, even though you're talking about what somebody else has already shared. All right, dumb thing about YouTube, I believe, number 2. You need a lot of fancy equipment to do this successfully. All right, maybe I wasn't as caught up in that as maybe some people are, because I'm definitely one who likes to figure out the simple ways of doing things. So I record my videos with my iPhone. I just have a simple wireless mic that I use. I almost always sit in front of a window for natural light, but today I'm deciding to change it up a little bit and just go outside and get all the natural light with it. So what I'm saying is I'm not buying expensive equipment. I'm pretty well using everything that I already have, with the exception of this pretty inexpensive wireless mic, because I think audio brings a better quality to the channel. But I see from my comments that there's so many people that are like, oh, I have to get this big expensive camera, and then I have to figure out how to use the big expensive camera and all these things that make it way more complicated than it needs to be to start out. I just encourage you to think of what you can do to create your own simple approach to make this easy for you to start and easy for you to continue. You don't have to go with all the complicated stuff. Dumb YouTube belief number 3. You have to post an awful lot of videos to be able to get traction. Well, I've definitely proven that that's not true. So if you look back at the history of my channel, you can see that I've been posting in a couple different eras. The first era was when I was making maybe about 7 or 8 videos about a specific kind of neck surgery that I had, and I wanted to share information that was going to help people. Then about 6 months ago, I decided, I think I really want to take this channel in a different direction and just talk about communicating, talking about YouTube and things along that line for my fellow over 40 audience. So when I started that, some of my early videos aren't great. They're still there for your entertainment value and seeing how I was trying to figure things out as I go. I generally started posting about once a week. But I was concentrating on improving. I was concentrating on figuring out better titles, better ways to connect with my audience, have better information to share. And honestly, maybe about 6 or 7 videos into that, I had some that kind of took off. And I was surprised, but also thankful. I know that kind of thing doesn't happen with everybody, but it did for me. And I think that it can happen in a lot of other cases too. So I really encourage you not to concentrate on quantity over quality. Like, oh, if I put out a video every single day, then obviously I have a much better chance. Well, some might say that that's true, but are you really able to put out a decent quality video every day? That's probably the better question. I would argue that quality over quantity makes a much bigger deal on YouTube and a positive aspect for you. In my case, I've definitely found that posting more videos does not equal more growth. I'm sticking with generally about once a week and concentrating on quality and connecting with my audience, and I think I'm seeing some good fruit from that. Dumb YouTube belief number 4. You have to be an expert if you're going to talk about anything on a YouTube channel. Am I the only one who's thought that? I hope not, because I'd feel even more stupid in that case, but I kind of don't think I am based on the comments that I see you all so kindly leaving on other videos on my channel. What we have to remember is that people want to see people on a journey. I think that's just such an attractive thing because it makes goals seem more doable. It makes mistakes seem not as bad. And that's kind of what I'm doing on my own YouTube journey of sharing what I'm learning and finding out and course correcting on, like in this case. So I think it's just super important for us to remember that if we're a few steps farther on the journey to learn or to become or whatever it is that we're on that journey for, that people who are also on that similar type of journey are going to be encouraged and attracted to want to watch what we're talking about, because you're not unattainable. You're not like so far down, it's like, oh, well, they're so far ahead of me, I'll never get anything from that. If we're just a couple steps ahead and share what we're learning as we go, the expert quality really isn't anything that's a big deal with this. It's just authentically sharing and being honest about what we're experiencing, and just kind of giving encouragement as we go, that the people who are maybe a few steps behind feel like it's really doable for them. It's way more important to connect with your audience than to impress them, which I'm thankful for. Dumb YouTube belief number 5, and I hope this is one that I really am moving away from, that YouTube is too oversaturated and there just isn't room for anybody new. Well, the skyrocketing numbers of YouTube's usage and channel growth and viewer growth especially, and it's continuing to skyrocket, I think number 1 can easily prove that wrong, is that there's just more eyeballs on YouTube all the time, and it's just such a powerful and always growing social media channel. But the bigger point in that for us as smaller creators is that you don't want an enormous audience. I mean, it might feel that way when you're wanting to grow in YouTube AdSense and everything, but you want the right audience. You want the audience that's going to find you as competent and authentic and credible and trustworthy. And that's not going to be everybody, and you don't want it to be everybody. You want it to be the right people that you know that you can connect with and encourage and help to grow. And as you do that, and as they continue to watch and interact with your videos, I think that, the veritable YouTube algorithm is going to find the similar like-minded people to bring into that audience for you and grow accordingly. You don't want to appeal to everybody. You want to appeal to your perfect audience. Dumb YouTube belief number 6. Editing videos is way too complicated. Okay, I kind of thought that for a while until I started messing around with some of the editing apps on my phone. I tried some on my laptop, and honestly, I was like, okay, this is too much for me. But then I started finding ones on the phone that were more simple, more approachable, and I could just kind of figure out. Now, yeah, I did watch a few YouTube videos to help me learn as I go, as we all do on that. And I've landed on using CapCut as the editor that I use consistently on my phone. It does have a PC version too, but I shoot on my phone and I edit on my phone. And it's just not as complicated as I thought it was going to be. Sure, it probably does 1,000 things that I never use that for, but I'm sticking with my simple route of approaching things, and it makes nice, easy, clean cuts. It has good transitions. It has a few other things that I use to maybe lighten up things if I need to or something like that. So if I keep it simple, it's very approachable for me to be able to use. So I just encourage you not to get caught up, oh, well, this does so many things, I don't even know where to start. You don't need to do so many things. You need to do the ones that are right for your video. And the better thing is that YouTube has really moved into a season where authenticity is the big goal and the big value. And so having lots of fancy cuts and jumping around and all the things that maybe we saw in videos even like 2 or 3 years ago just isn't the case anymore. Simple, clean cuts that augment what you're talking about with your authentic self and the value that you're bringing and the information you have to share that people are going to be interested in doesn't need all the fancy stuff to make it work. Simple editing is the way to go, and I think there's some simple avenues and programs that will help you to be able to do that. Number 7, dumb YouTube belief on my part. The algorithm is out to get me. And man, it's easy to jump to that when we get a video that tanks, which inevitably they will. I feel like every other video I've posted lately, one's been doing well and one really tanks. And I've been trying to learn and figure out why, and I definitely think there are some reasons on my part that I could have done a better job with titles and thumbnails. I could have done a better job of having things that hook people in and have them listen longer. But I definitely want to encourage you not to just look at that as your big excuse for everything. Well, I did everything right, but that stupid algorithm, it just doesn't like anything that I put out, or my topic is too much of a hot potato for anybody to care about, and the algorithm presses it down. I'm just going to encourage you that I think 99.9% of the time, that's not the case. And the algorithm picks up on who's watching us, and then it wants to share it with people who are similar to them. So if we keep really concentrating on improving our content, improving those initial things that people see as they're scrolling along, especially titles and thumbnails, improving that first 5 to 10 seconds of our video that makes them feel like, okay, my click to watch this video was actually worth it. When we concentrate on those things and improving and growing and course correcting, that helps us to have the algorithm very eagerly feed more people into what it suggests and making our recommended videos on their homepage and bringing it up as when they end a video, well then here's the next one that they might want to watch. It's on us. It's on me in my case, but it's on us to improve and have the things that YouTube just naturally sees that people are gravitating to. And it seems like they're going to be very happy to send more people our way. All right, here's maybe the most recent YouTube dumb belief that I feel like I'm working through. And this is number 8 on my list, that YouTube AdSense is the only way to really make money from a channel. Now, I think when we're all starting out, we have that goal that we want to get to the point where we get those 1,000 subscribers and we get those 4,000 watch hours in the last 365 days to be able to get the audience so that when we simply get views on our videos that YouTube pays us. Well, number 1, it's not an astronomical amount of money. I'm finding that's to be the case. And number 2, it's just one of many ways, and it honestly might be one of the lower income producing ways to have your YouTube channel be one that you can have to be able to earn from. So ways that I am intent on kind of figuring out how more to deal with are acquiring brand sponsorships. You know, we often see videos where say, hey, this video was sponsored by, and then there might be like a 60-second spot in the ad that brand has paid that creator for to be able to just, you know, highlight things that they want to highlight in the ad, and then it gets in front of the audience that particular brand wants to get in front of, which is a big deal for lots of companies now. Affiliate marketing. I have a video that I've recently done on that seems to have gotten a lot of attention. And honestly, you can start with affiliate marketing from day one. You can offer coaching services. I know a lot of my fellow people in this over 40 niche have been doing that. You can offer, you can create digital products like ebooks or short courses or something like that. You can create physical products if that's what your niche is more about, especially in like the crafting niche or something like that. All these things you can have your YouTube channel be the basis for, and then be able to have all these things sort of surrounding it that you're able to earn from that, with the views from your YouTube channel as being that initial instigator for how you'll be able to build your business with it. Okay, my 9th and final dumb thing I believed about YouTube. And honestly, I want this to be hopefully the biggest encourager, especially if you're still in that, should I do this or should I not phase with considering a YouTube channel. I need to know a lot more about this before I start. Obviously, we don't want to go on and post videos where we just look like lunatics and that we don't know what we're doing. But if we don't do that, we can't get to the point where we feel like we're growing and figuring it out as we go. Sure, if you want to get started and make some videos and not actually post them on your channel, you have that prerogative. But you know, you have to get past that. You're never going to get to this wonderfully professional, I am such a great presenter on camera sort of stuff unless we're actually practicing it and doing it and looking back at the videos that we've done and assessing what we did wrong and here's what I could do better the next time, and just hope to have that incremental growth as we go. It's just like any other thing in life. But if we just kind of get trapped by, I don't know enough about this before I'm able to start, you're never going to get started. And if you never get started, you're never going to get better. So I just encourage you to not let that be the thing that locks you up and feels like you can't even do anything with this because, well, I just don't know enough. All right, watch some videos to figure out what you're doing, but don't get trapped in that constant cycle either. You have to get started. It's the only way we can grow. Well, trust me, if I sit here and keep thinking, I could probably come up with 100 more dumb things that I've believed about YouTube that I've learned was wrong as I'm just getting in the trenches and doing it and building my channel. But I hope there are 9 things that maybe connect with you a little bit and it can help you think, okay, well, maybe I was thinking that too, but maybe I need to take this different approach. I just want to encourage you as you're growing that we have to make the mistakes. We have to figure out the things that we're thinking wrongly on and just course correct and keep on going and not let that stop us from proceeding and growing and figuring out and hopefully doing better and better with each post. Are there things that you've learned about YouTube too that you're like, well, that wasn't right? I'd love to hear them. I'd love to hear kind of like the process we're all going through as we're all figuring this out. So just leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear what you're thinking in that regard. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love if you do that too, just so we can keep the conversation going. If you're looking to grow on YouTube, I do have a playlist that's specifically for over 40 creators like myself. And I talk about what I'm learning and what I'm finding to be successful and maybe some of the things that I encourage you to stay away from. And especially focus on ways that we can use our YouTube channel to be able to earn more money. I hope it has some helpful things in there as you consider in your growth process on YouTube too. So let's all just keep recording and posting and assessing and here's what I can do better in the next one. And then in the next one, we actually work on it and get a little better at it. It's the only way we can keep growing and moving ahead on this process. I'm rooting for your success. See you in the next video.